Good morning, everyone. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And we are in the Mortgage Syndicate Club this morning. And I want you to click on that green house. If you're not a member of this club, you need to be, because they are on Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m., 6 hours a day, giving fabulous content about all things real estate. And so the P.I.L.L Method Club joins forces with the Mortgage Syndicate every Sunday so that we can add our little piece of the pie to this fabulous content. And listen, we've got two other people. One you can see, the other one you cannot see. We have Kurt Nugent, who is running the background graphics and everything online. So if you want to see us online, you can go to Twitter, you can go to LinkedIn, you can go to Facebook, you can go to YouTube, and then see us live and what we're going to be talking about today. But also on the stage on Clubhouse, you can see Miss Donna. Donna, how are you doing today?
Good morning, Don. Happy Sunday. I was actually sharing the room. You know, you've got to lead by example. Okay?
That is so
I came into
true.
the room. Yeah. And so my first duty as I walk into the room is to share the room. So good morning, everyone. Donna Englund here. Please share the room. If you're not already a member of this club, we are today here in the Mortgage Syndicate, but Don has his own room. So you can follow him on his 10K card and just click on his profile and you can follow the house. If you're not a member, share the room. You can actually see the video as he alluded to earlier. You can see this video on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And right here, you are here listening audible on Clubhouse. So share the room, tell everybody in the hallway that we are here and we are going to be talking about the BRRRR investor, the iceberg investor. All right. So basically about myself, my name is Donna. And I'm located in Canada, actively doing real estate business in the US, trying to launch myself out. I've been doing assisted living, independent living since 2014. And I know it's a good model because I have been doing it successfully and I'm putting myself out. And now, as soon as I came in, I'm noticing a lot of people are talking about shared space living. That's what it is. So I do the assisted portion, which is the licensed portion. And so I'm here able to coach, mentor anyone who are persons that are interested. But however, I'm a mortgage loan, I'm a commercial lender. And you can check my bio for anything else that I've not said. Okay, I'm always here to learn at Don's feet and to add value where I can. Donna, and I'm done speaking.
Donna, thank you so much, everybody. Listen, if you are interested in the BRRRR method, we're going to be talking about what that is in just a second. But folks, if you understand what we're talking about here, we're going to be combining the BRRRR method and the P.I.L.L method to see how we can increase profitability. And first of all, let me talk about what is the BRRRR method. That's B with 4 R's, BRRRR. And they call it the BRRRR method. And so what I want to do now is share. We're going to share my screen. Uh-oh, I clicked on the wrong thing. Let's cancel out of that. And so we want to present. We want to share screen. And we want entire screen. There we go. Now, so they gave us some new choices, Kurt, so I got confused. Listen, man, Kurt Nugent is not only helping us, but he is working with a church here, one of the largest churches here in Huntsville and in the state of Alabama, Oakwood University Church, and it has a worldwide reach. And he is the pastor for media at that church, and they are in a campaign right now. Listen, Kurt, I need you to come on whenever you can. Just hook up that mic. I know you're busy, but when you can, hook up your mic and your camera. Come on, and let's talk about your current project that you're working on that's getting such a great response. So I'm also going to put this on the screen. And I say, I don't want to steal his thunder, folks, but here, I need you to focus in on here. If you want to see what we're talking about, please go to YouTube and so that you can see what we're talking about. So let's go ahead and share that screen. So here's the thing, folks. What does BRRRR stand for? We're going to break it down. We're going to break that down. So I'm going to scroll down here to step one. Step one. Let me make this just a little bit bigger so that we can see it. All right. All right. Step one. All right. Come on. What am I doing here? I'm doing something wrong. Uh-oh. I'm on the wrong screen. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing it wrong. Okay. Boom. Boom. All right. So I need to click on this screen and then make it bigger. There it is. Step one is to buy. Step one is to buy. You want to buy. So you want to buy the property and you want to buy it right. Generally, you buy it below market. Okay. So you buy the property and you buy it below market. The second step is now that property has to be renovated. What are going to be your renovation costs? Get the property renovated and repaired. Get it ready for the number 3 step, which is rent it. You have to rent it outright. Okay. You want to rent it outright. And then after you get it rented, guess what? You want to refinance to get the cash out. And then what do you do when you get that cash out? Then you repeat the process, buy another property below value, below market, and start that process all over again. So how does this work? Again, you want to buy the property, then you want to repair or renovate the property, then you want to rent the property, and once you rent it, and then you started making money, then you refinance the property, get the cash out of the property, and then buy more properties. Do you see how that? Listen, it is a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous idea. So here's what I want to focus on, folks. I want to focus on this. When you refinance the property, here is what real estate investors do not include in the calculations. There's a lot of calculations that make this profitable, but one calculation that they're not counting on is they're gaining equity in the property. But if you're using bank money to borrow that money, if you're borrowing that money, then you're paying interest to get that equity. All right. And aside from market conditions, because market conditions can go up or down. All right. But even in that, there is another way to get equity. That's just to pay down the loan. So how do we pay down the loan? All right. And do it in such a way that we can increase equity. Wow, wow, wow. That's what we're going to be talking about, folks. I need you to kind of dial in here. If you're a real estate investor, if you have questions about this, and Donna, you're engaging in some BRRRR strategies, aren't you?
Yes, we have actually bought our first from in the States, but yes, here I have done that here.
Okay. So when you say here, where's here?
I'm talking about Canada, yes.
In Canada, okay. Because listen, I have a slight bone to pick with you because it was like 24 degrees this morning in Huntsville.
Listen, don't talk about it because guess what? All I see is the white lady on the ground and on the top of the roof. That's all I can see.
Okay. All right.
I can't see clearly right now. It's all white.
Okay, Donna. But I'm just saying, please, just kind of hold up. On sending us your cold air.
You know what? I love to share. That's the problem. Sharing is very caring, and I love to share.
Listen, we appreciate you. So, folks, here's what we're talking about. You want to be able to refinance. Now, what does it cost to manage the debt? All right. Now, Donna, I need to ask you a question here. Can you rent out something and make good money, but you're charging below market rents?
Oh, for sure.
Okay. Now, would you recommend it?
I would, because that's what I do.
You rent below market rents?
Yes, because when you're doing the shared accommodation, you can share. It's basically a bed space that you are
Oh,
renting
that's
out
what
the
you're
whole
doing.
room.
Ah,
So
okay.
basically, it is below what the market rent because it's not a room.
I
You're
got you.
only a space, so there is that money.
I got you. I got you. So let me ask it this way. Let me ask it this way. If you are in a multifamily building or a single family building, let me ask it this way. If you're charging below market rents, are you losing money?
For sure.
For sure.
Oh,
All right.
exactly. Yes. You
All right.
can't
So
go below.
that's what we're talking about, folks. So if you're charging below market rents, even though the numbers are in your favor, you're still making money. You're bringing in more rent than it costs you to manage the loan. You're in good shape. But if you're charging below market rents, you're throwing away money. So here is the thing. If you are borrowing money and you're paying more interest than you need to, you are also throwing away money. And most people most real estate investors do not look at how much interest they are paying. I want to show you, I'm going to put something on the screen here for you folks that you need to see. We're going to bring it up. And here is an opportunity for you to see what's going on. All right. Here's the thing. Here's what's going on here with this particular loan. This real estate investor has $2 million worth of properties. The loans are over $2 million on this property. All right. And it's cost $14,696 in payments, the mortgage payments. But look here, Donna, even though he's paying out $14,000, he's bringing in, and these are two office buildings, $57,800, $57,800 in rents monthly, not yearly, monthly. But it cost him $14,696 to manage the debt. What do you think about that? Is that a pretty good return on his money?
That's a good return.
I love that. I love that return. I absolutely love that return. But what he's not looking at is how much interest is costing him. I want to put up just one loan. I just want to put up one of the loans. Okay. And I need to bring up let me get this out of the way and get this out of the way. I'm going to bring up just a little information here. Let me pull this over to the side, and I want to, okay. And I'm going to just put up one of the loans. Okay. One of the loans, we're going to pull up a new screen and we're going to show you what we're looking at. Okay. And we're putting up Brett Whistle. Here's just one of the loans. Let me see here. And all right. We're going to take this out. We're going to put in 5%. 5%. We're going to put in 300 months because that was the original term. And here is the payment on one of the loans. It's $87.04 a month. $87.04 a month. And this particular building, he's making a lot of money on, and it only cost him $8,704 a month to pay the mortgage, but he's making a lot more on this particular building. But here's what you need to see. In 1 year, Donna, in 1 year, we're looking at let's take a look at the first month. $2,500 goes to principal. $6,200 goes to interest here. In 1 year, we're looking at cumulative principal and cumulative interest. If you're new to the room and you want to see what we have, all right, go ahead and start sharing the room. That's number one. and then go to YouTube so you can see this. We already have some people on YouTube watching this. In 1 year, $30,699.86 has been paid down on the loan, but it costs $73,748 in interest in the first year. So, folks, if this was your building, is this how you want to spend your money? Donna, is this how you want to spend your money? My goodness. No, I don't want to spend. Listen, I need you to put this in the chat, folks. I need you to put it in the chat. Is this how you want to spend your money? Daniel says, no way. No way. I'm going to get $30,000 paid down on the loan, but the bank wants to charge me.
Sorry about that. I was actually sharing the house on Facebook.
That's quite all right.
Sorry.
That's quite all right. That's quite all right. All right. Listen, if you don't answer right away, I know where you are. You're sharing. All right. So $73,748. Is that how you want to spend your money, Miss Donna?
Absolutely not.
No, absolutely not. So, folks, this is what we mean by getting equity and how much it actually costs. So I've got somebody, Miss Cookie Williams, who is watching us live on YouTube. She says, no way. No way. No way does she want to do that. All right. Absolutely not. Okay. So, folks, here is what I mean by this. We are paying a lot of money. Now, it says 5% here. And we get hung up on the interest rate, but not the interest cost. Let me show you what this loan looks like. $1,488,906. And on this loan, over 25 years, the bank wants $1,122,000 in interest. That's what they want. But do you realize you can cut your interest cost by 75 to 80% on this loan if you are a real estate investor? You do not have to give all that money to the bank to get this equity. Every time you make a payment, you increase equity. You're paying down the loan and you're creating space between how much the property is worth and how much you owe. And every time you make a payment, then how much you owe goes down, which creates more value for you. Now, here's what's happening. As I'm creating more value, all right, I need you to see this. On payment number 1, we just paid this loan down by $2,500. Okay, we created more value, but it cost us $6,203.78 to get it. Now, is this a new way to look at getting your money, getting your value, getting equity, when you take a look at how much it costs you to get that equity? Is that too much to pay? I'm asking, is that too much to pay for $2,500 in equity? $6,000?
No. Did I hear your question now?
What you say? What now?
No, I was asking, did I answered, but I'm saying, did I understand your question?
Well, let me ask it again. Is $6,000 in interest too much to pay to get $2,500 in equity?
Absolutely not. Like, that is super.
Are you, Donna, are you still hearing me right?
Okay. You're saying
right.
6,000, you're going to be saving.
No. I'm not talking about, I'm talking about paying your mortgage here.
Okay.
When you pay your mortgage of $8,000, what's happening is you're getting $2,500 worth of equity, but it costs you $6,000 in interest to get it.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, you don't want to do that, do you?
No, absolutely not.
That's too much money. Too much money. Now, folks, here's what you're looking at. Everybody's looking at how much money they're making. They're looking at, here's what they're looking at. They're looking at the payment of $8,704. So if I get $8,704, but I can make, $20,000 or $25,000 on the building, I'm getting $25,000 in rents. That's what they're looking at. Okay. what the tenants are paying them. I'm paying $8,700 out, but my tenants are actually giving me the money. So here's what I'm saying. If somebody is giving me money, Donna, somebody's giving me money, and then I'm going to be a steward of that money, and I want to pay off this property, and I want to make money not only from the rents, but from the property itself. So I am beginning to ignore the fact that out of that money that my tenants gave me, I'm paying $6,000 of it out just to get $2,500 in equity on the backside. I'm only focusing on the front side, the rents coming in. I am not paying attention at all to the monies on the backside. What if we could do something about that? All right. So now I want to show you what happens here. We're going to break this out. I'm going to go back to this example, and I'm going to scroll down to page number 2 on what we did for this particular client. Okay. Now I want to show you how the client is making money on this deal. All right. How he's making money on this deal. All right. And I want to make this just a little bit bigger. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so you can see the numbers here. Okay. Now, on the red side, this is how this client is making payments to this loan. All right. So it started out at $2,236,000. All right. And next year, he'll pay down to $2,155,546. The year after that, it's going to be paid down to $2,071,399. So do you see how slow that's going? And when you're not paying attention to that, you're saying I am paying this down by little, but it costs me a ton of interest to do that. So let me show you just one of the loans that is included here. All right, just one of the loans. All right. So we're going to bring back our. All right, let's get rid of this. We don't need that one. Let's bring back just one loan. Okay, 1 year. Okay, it costs $73,000 in interest on just one loan. 2 years in, it costs $145,925 in interest just on one loan. 3 years in, it costs $216,452.03 just on one of the loans. Look, in 3 years, the rents are coming in, but I just paid out in 3 years $216,000 just to pay this one loan down by $96,000 because my tenants gave me the money. What in the world is going on here? Here's what Miss Cookie Williams is saying here. She's got something. It says, I have $159,000 left on my mortgage. Let's go ahead and highlight that, put it on the screen. All right. I've got, we're going to highlight that. Boom. Oh, I'm doing it wrong. There it is. I have $159,000 left on my mortgage, 12 years, 7 months, 2.875 interest. But I just took $120K HELOC and paid debt and gave $15K to my son as a gift to close on his home. What next? All right. What's next, Miss Cookie, is you now owe interest on that HELOC. You also have a mortgage that you still owe on. And here's what's next. How much interest? Here's the question. And I don't really expect an answer, but you want to know how much interest do you have left to pay on both loans? Because what my interest rate actually is has nothing to do with how much interest I have left to pay on the loans set up the way they are. So unless you can answer that question, how much interest do I have left to pay? Then you cannot come up with a strategy to pay less interest, because you want to know how much interest you have left. Then you can figure out how much interest can you save. Okay? So, Ms. Cookie, can I show you one answer? It's not answering your question, but I did answer that question for the investor that we have on the screen. Can I show you? All right, because since you asked that, all right, so let me show you here. Let's go back. All right, now here's what this investor now knows. Once we started with them, okay, here's what the bank wanted. 1,123,000. I'm going down, I'm highlighting it here on the second line. The bank wanted $1,123,195 in interest. We're going to show that same investor without, and I need you to write this down or do whatever it is you need to do to put it in the notes so that you can totally understand this. Without using monies that the investor has earmarked to reinvest. We're not touching that money. We're going to show that investor how to pay only $231,468 in interest or less. Boom. That is that. Do you know? Let me tell you something. Even though this loan is 5%, for this investor to pay that little amount of interest on this loan, do you realize his interest rate? Let me highlight that for you. His interest rate would have had to be 0.067% if he got this loan from the bank and they were going to charge him $231,000 in interest. So with the P.I.L.L method, we can make that 5% loan where he's paying all of that interest perform like an interest rate of 0.67%, less than 1%. Less than 1%. So that means that is an interest savings of $891,000. $891,000. And he knew this going in before we even started. Okay. He knew how much interest he was going to pay. I was telling him how much interest he would actually pay, how much interest we were saving him. And I also showed him how much interest he had already paid, which was a ton. And not only that, Miss Cookie, we give him a written guarantee that if we don't perform at this level, he doesn't have to pay us at all. Pay us nothing if we can't do this. If what I'm saying is not true, it turns out not to be true. If he's following our program, he's going to get this result or even better. Most of my clients, over 90% of my clients get better than what we predict. Some of them get exactly what we predict, but a lot of them get a lot better than what we predict. Or we don't bring them on as clients because we guarantee their results in writing. So here's what's happening. Now, he's got 21.9 years left on this loan. By the time we get through with it, he's going to be able to pay it off in 4.9 because the money he is no longer paying in interest. More money can go to principal, again, not using any of the monies he's designated to reinvest. Now, I know some people, that's one criticism that we get from real estate investors. Don, I would much rather reinvest my money than use that money to pay down a loan. Yeah, but we never said use that money that you were going to reinvest to pay down the loan. Take that money you're going to reinvest and reinvest it. There is another way to save interest, and we're going to go over that today. So let's talk about this, folks. We're going to save them 17 years. Okay. 17 years. Now, what does that mean? I need you to watch this. Okay. As we pay down this loan, he's getting equity and doing it the way he's doing it. But when he follows our program, look over here in the blue. Okay. A year from the day we started, he's not at $2 million he still owes. He's only at $1,845,000. He's got a lot more equity for a lot less interest he paid. The next year after that, he's not at $2,071,000. He's down to $1.4 million, $1,409,000. So he still has more equity. A year after that, instead of being at 1.9 million, he's under $1 million that he still owes. Okay. He's already $1 million ahead in equity after 3 years. After 3 years on our program, he's $1 million ahead on equity. At this point, what if he wanted to refi? He can get that. He can get a percentage of that $1 million out. Do you see how long it would take normally to get down to just $1 million? It would take between 12 and 13 years doing it the traditional way. Doing it our way, he has an extra $1 million in equity in just 3 years. Oh my goodness. Does anybody have anything to say about that? On the P.I.L.L method, he has way more money available sooner. And this is so when you go to refinance, you can refinance sooner, get your money out, but it doesn't cost you as much interest to get that. We're cutting his interest cost by almost 80% to get the same equity. Folks, that's what we're talking about when we talk about iceberg. When you're talking about this is interest cancellation. I'm called the interest cancellation expert. So when you include the interest cancellation expert in all of this, you get your equity faster and cheaper than what the bank is doing for you. If you have any questions, any comments, raise your hands, come to the stage, especially if you are a real estate investor. Now, if you are a residential homeowner and you want to know how this applies to you, come on up. Ask your question. We'll help you too. So, Ms. Donna, what do you think about this so far? In 3 years, this guy is going to have $1 million extra in equity in 3 years instead of 13 years. What do you think? Oh man. So listen, I've got some stuff online here. Some people online. Daniel says it's amazing. It is an amazing way to take care of your mortgage. All right, Daniel, thank you very much. All right. Let me see. Ahmad says bought a home for $185,000. He's watching us on YouTube. All right. Bought a home for $185,000 and my first payment is coming up. Do I make 2 payments in the first month to cancel the interest for the second month? Can you explain for me which way I should move best? Ahmad, here's what we're talking about. I can give you some basics, but that's not how our program works. We have what's called an opportunity cost calculator. It's not just enough to throw money at the loan. It's not just enough to throw money at the loan. You want to know how much to pay. You want to know when to pay it, what month to do it in. You also want to know what day of the month to do it on, and you want to know which loan to attack so that you can eliminate the maximum amount of interest per dollar. Okay? So Miss Hazel says, do you explain in a few steps how your method works? Yeah. Let's go ahead and I'm going to put that on the screen to give you a kind of an idea in just a few steps on how the method works. Now, we have education and we have technology that runs the whole thing. You want to know exactly how much to pay. You want exactly what to do. All right. It says, where can I get the calculator? So what you do is you go to our website, and then when you see the button there at pillmethod.com, you would click on the button that says get a savings and earnings report. Fill that out because we vet each and every one of our clients. You just can't go buy this thing. We have to know that you are going to benefit from the program. And here's why. Because we guarantee your results for a lifetime. So we want to make sure that the program is set up right. We have coaches and we have customer service to make sure that everything works well for you. It's all included in the price of the program. And it is different prices for whatever we're doing for you. So here's what you're doing. You're finding out how much interest you can save, the month and day, the month, day and year you can be debt free, and not only how much interest you can save, but we're going to do some calculations for you to take that interest you're saving and see how much money that can make for you over time as well. Oh my goodness. So if you want to, we're going to put on the screen how you can see a video of the P.I.L.L method opportunity cost calculator. And I'm going to open it up on this screen. And we're going to go here and we're going to put the link in the chat for you so that you guys can see that. Also, we're going to get Kurt to put it on the screen for us as well. So we're going to share that and copy it. Let's put it in here in the comment section, paste. Now you get to see, okay, there you go. Now you get to see what's going on with the opportunity cost calculator. Now I'm also going to put on here a demo of our program so you can see that as well. So we're putting that on right now, getting that ready. There we go. And the demo. All right, so in this particular demo, folks, I'm going to put in 10 properties. So we're going to bring this over so you guys can see that. Let's bring it up right now, okay? Then we'll go to the other steps. All right. So let's go ahead and let's bring up my screen here. There we go. And I'm going to put in multiple properties. Okay. We're going to load that into the program. So Hazel wanted to know in a few steps how the entire method works. So we put in all of the debt, we put in all the mortgages, we put in all the income, and then as we're tracking it through the months, we're starting out in October, we're looking at November, and then when the program sees extra money, it says, put that money in savings. Put it in savings, all right? And then we're making our mortgage payments here, just the minimum payments. We got mortgage number 8 here, and 3 and 2 and 4, and a HELOC. And then let me scroll down here and just show you what is happening. Once we get enough money saved up for either the business owner or the residential client, the program will then give you these little prompts to say, let's take some money out of the savings and put it on mortgage number 9. And we tell you exactly to the penny of the money that you've actually able to save up. $4,097.73, not a penny more. This is the optimum day and optimum amount. When we put that money on mortgage number 9, then the program does an additional calculation. Let me make this a little bigger. We're saving in interest that we don't have to pay the bank now, $47,626.03. What does this mean? Here's what it means. If this homeowner or real estate investor were to naturally making their payments every single month on time, pay this loan down by $4,097.73. They would also have to give the bank $47,626.03 to realize this much pay down on the loan. But when we pay it ahead of time, we do not have to pay the bank the $47,626 in interest they were looking for. Ms. Cookie, does that answer your question in just a few steps on how the calculator works, how our program actually works? We tell you exactly how much money to move, what month to move it in, what day of the month to move it on, so that you can increase your equity faster and cheaper on this particular loan. That's what's going on behind the scenes, folks. That's how you can save money. All right, Miss Cookie, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let's get into, Miss Cookie wanted to know, how in the world can she get it? Well, let me show you one person who got our program. All right. They got our program and did excellent on our program. His name is Dr. Eric Thomas. They call him E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher. Let's see what he has to say about our program. And then I'll get into how you can get our program too.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
All right, folks, you heard E.T., the hip hop preacher. He says he paid off his mortgage in record time. His wife is feeling so much better about the whole situation, and it saved him a ton of interest doing it this way. So if you want to know how you can do this, how you can know the month, day, and year you could be debt free, how you can eliminate hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest you don't have to pay, then you want to go to our link that we have right here above our heads. Click on that link. It's ice10k.com. ICE, ICE, the number 10 and the letter K.com. Once you click on that link, folks, then it will take you to a place on our digital business card. You find on our card the link that says get a savings and earnings report. Get that savings and earnings report. Tell us how much you put their information in about your loans. Follow all of the directions. Now, once you follow all of the directions, because we have to keep the robots out. Okay. There's people that are trying to steal our program. Okay. They send robots out. So go ahead and follow all of the directions. And once you do, then you will be let into our financial page. Put all of your loans in, whether it's mortgages, whether it's car loans, whether it's credit cards, put all of your loans in. And then any other financial data we're asking for, like the minimum payments, interest rates, give us that. And we're going to ask a little bit about your income and what's left over after all the bills are paid. That's it. Plug that in, and somebody from our team will give you a call, confirm the numbers, and then set up a consultation. We will then tell you the month, day, and year you will be debt free, how much interest you're going to save, and how much of that saved interest pays for your lifetime program. Money that you no longer have to pay the bank pays for your program. Oh my gosh, it's the best of both worlds. Our average client saves well over $100,000 in interest. They don't have to pay the bank. And we get a small fraction of that to pay for your program. We got Kurt the Bank Barnes here in the room. Kurt, are you available to do an introduction, sir?
Hey, Don, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Where are you in the world?
Still in Mississippi.
Man, did you get some of this cold weather we got here in Huntsville?
Oh, yeah. Got it right now.
So go ahead and introduce yourself, Kurt.
Kurt the Bank Barnes, commercial loan broker, short-term rental operator, and buy and hold investor out of New York. But yeah, it's chilly down here, Don. Really chilly.
Listen, man, we're going over the BRRRR method today, and we'll call it the ICE BRRRR because we're showing how a real estate investor would normally take 12 to 13 years normally to get $1 million paid down on the loan. Okay. On one of his loans, a commercial loan. We're showing how the same real estate investor is going to get paid down $1 million in equity in just 3 years. So he's going to get his equity faster and cheaper. It's not going to cost him as much interest. So if we were on just one of the loans, Kurt, on just one of the loans, okay, we're just showing just on one of the loans, okay, in 13 years, okay, we're going to go down here. Well, here's what the bank wants on just one of the loans in 5 years to pay it down by 170,000. The bank wants $352,000 just in interest, just in 5 years. Okay. In 10 years, the bank wants $656,000 in interest. Okay. 13 years, the bank wants $810,000 in interest just to pay the loan down by $547,000. Kurt, that's what's going on naturally. And this guy's making a ton of money. His mortgage payments are $14,000. He's bringing in over $50,000 in rents on 2 commercial buildings. Okay, that's what he's doing. But he wasn't paying attention to how much interest he was paying. So what we're showing here on our program, where he would normally pay down, have $1 million paid down, with taking between 12 and 13 years to do it. We're showing on the P.I.L.L method side how he can have, from starting out at $2,236,000, he could be paid down to only $952,000 in just 3 years. That's over $1 million in equity for a lot less interest. So when it comes to the ICE BRRRR method, when it comes to doing your cash out refi, folks, it's going to cost you a lot less money to refi because you're not giving the bank all of that interest that most real estate investors do not pay attention to. So, would you like to see some of the math involved that makes this thing work? How in the world can we save so much interest, get so much equity, and we don't have to use any of the money that this real estate investor earmarked for reinvesting? You don't have to use your funds for reinvesting to make this happen. All right. If you want to see this, if you want to see how we do this, just give you one example of how it's done, put a number 9 in the chat. I need to see number 9s in the chat or online if you want to see some of the math involved. Oh man, here comes the number 9s. I want to. So Daniel says, yes, show me the money. Show me the money. Valerie says, listen, show me how it's done. All right. Listen, remember, folks, this is just something that we're going to teach you how the loans work. This is not our program. A sophisticated computer program runs everything. All right. Hazel says 9. Hope says, let's go. Valerie says 99. So let me show you, folks. I'm going to bring up just one of the loans. Jonathan Jones says number 9. I'm just going to bring up one of the loans here. Okay. Let me show you something. All right. We're going to bring up the one loan. Okay. We're also going to bring up. Okay, we're going to bring this up. I'm going to show you the breakdown in the money and what we're using. I think you're going to like what you see. Here's the breakdown. On this loan, the payment is let's see, $8,000 on just one of the loans is $8,000 a month, but on both loans it's $14,696. I got it highlighted over here on the right. And they're bringing in $57,800 in rents every month. So here's what the real estate investor told me. Okay. This much money, Don, 63%. 63% of what we're bringing in, I want to reinvest. $36,686.67 monthly, I want to set aside for reinvesting. That's it. You can't use that money. I said, okay. So he says, well, what are you going to do if you can't use the money, if you can't use this money? I said, well, you also are showing me out of the rent you're bringing in, 11.2% of the money goes into what you're calling your repair and maintenance fund. $6,500 a month goes into the repair and maintenance fund. Since the buildings are fairly new buildings, not much maintenance is going on. In fact, since he's been in business for a while, Kurt, he's got over $100,000 in that reserve fund. All right. Cookie says she's filling out her form right now. Okay, Cookie, you could do that, but I still need you to listen. Cookie says she's filling out her form right now, folks. That's right. Moving at the speed of instruction. We appreciate that, Cookie. So here's what you're talking about. So, folks, $6,500 every month going out. So I gave him a quick example. Let me give you just a quick example. Now, our program is going to do it differently from this because it's going to tell you exactly what to do. But out of that $100,000, he told me it's sitting in a bank account. And in that bank account, it's making 1/10 of 1%. What? Yeah, 1/10 of 1% sitting in the bank account, waiting for something to go wrong. So this is what I showed him. All right. Here's just an example of what our program is going to do, but only it's going to be more exact. So let's bring back up. Let's bring it back up. Okay. The amortization calculator on just one of these loans of $1,488,000. I need you to focus in on payment number 1 and payment number 2. Okay. Payment number 1 and payment number 2. All right. Cookie says she's laughing at me. Don't laugh at me, Cookie. So, folks, on payment number 1, let's say it's this month. He makes a payment this month. $2,500 of his over $8,000 a month. $2,500 goes to principal. $6,203.78 goes to interest. We subtract the $2,500 that he paid, all right, towards the principal. And now we're left with $1,486,000 in principal balance left. Okay. Then the bank uses this number, the principal balance, to figure out how much interest this particular investor owes on line 2. So the first interest payment was $6,203. The second interest payment only dropped down to $6,193. Oh my gosh. Look at how much money. I need to show you now how to read an amortization schedule. All right. I saw a bunch of number 9s. I'm going to teach you how to read this so it can benefit you. Let's say he made payment number 1 this month. The principal payment for February is $2,510.64. Here's my question to you. If we can see this, do we have to wait till February to give the bank $2,510.64? Do we have to wait till next month to do it?
No, you don't.
Come on. I love it. You don't have to wait. You can give it to the bank in month 1. Remember, he's not using his monies that he's earmarked for reinvesting. he's going to use some of the money that he has sitting in the bank, waiting for something to go wrong, over $100,000, making 1/10 of 1%. So if he just takes out $2,500 and borrows it from himself out of that account, applies it to principal in month one, then the bank says, I'm going to take all this $2,510.64 and apply it to principal, and you're paid down to line 2 in January. Pay down to line 2 in January. So your new February payment is on line 3 of this schedule. That's what happens. Okay? So he borrowed $2,500 from himself, puts it on the loan, and then he's on line 3. So what just happened? Instead of $8,000 applying to this loan, he applied an extra $2,500 that he borrowed from the repair and maintenance account, applied it to the principal, and eliminated line 2 from his mortgage amortization schedule altogether. Line 2 is gone. It's been canceled. What about the $6,193.36 on line 2? That money has just been eliminated. He never has to pay that money. That's how this thing is set up. By prepaying that money early, he just saved $6,193.36. I want to show you some math on that, because remember, I told you the money sitting in the bank, he's making 1/10 of 1%. So if we're going to save $6,193.36, and he's going to prepay, he's going to borrow from himself and invest it in this loan. He's going to say, I'm going to invest here. I'm going to get $6,000 worth of savings. So we divide it by 2510.64. Look at this. That is, I need to show you this. You move the decimal place too. That's 247% return on his money. 247% return on the money that's sitting in the bank account, making 1/10 of 1%. Folks, is this better? Kirk, is this better? Donna, is this better? Come on, talk to us.
Yes, it is better. And at this time, Don, I think it's a good segue to just do a quick, to tell the people who just walk into the room, we are in the Mortgage Syndicate Cafe today, where we share on Sunday. Don shared this room with the Mortgage Syndicate. If you're not already a member of the club, please click on the greenhouse, become a member. You can watch this live presentation on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And you can go to ice10klive.com. Please share the room, share the room. Don is here talking about how if you can do this BRRRR method and you can save, because guess what, guys? When you do the BRRRR method, I mean, whatever it is, you're going to be saving that money. That money you save could be put towards the interest on this property, and you save the interest cost. So not only is it for mortgages, it's for your car loan. It is for your student loan. So people listening in the audience who has student loan, it's not only about mortgages, it's about your car note. It's about your student loan. So please share the room, and thank you for being here. You could be somewhere else, but we're grateful that you're here listening. Donna, I'm done speaking.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Donna. Kurt, listen, man, I know you're working over there in Mississippi, but do you have a comment on this at all? Is this information valuable to you?
Of course it is, man. I'm sitting here and I am working. I'm on the computer, but I'm listening. What I've heard so far, man, it's amazing. That every week, Don, you shock me, man. You always come up with something new, something different on how to save. So I'm just here in the back listening, man.
I appreciate you, Kurt. I appreciate you. Listen, we got some folks on that are watching us online on Facebook and YouTube. Miss Cookie says putting fire emojis in. Miss Hazel is putting fire emojis in. Listen, Miss Cookie says, wow, when we've showed them how much money can be saved with just a little bit of money from a savings account that normally goes unnoticed because it's just sitting there waiting for something to go wrong to be repaired. Oh my goodness. Now remember, I told you, you don't have to use the money that you've earmarked for reinvesting. Okay. So let me go over that one more time. We're going to bring that up so you can see it. Then we're going to hit this part again so that you can totally understand what we're talking about. So bringing $57,800 in rents in every month. Okay. The mortgage payments are $14,696. 36,000 of the rents that are coming in, $36,600 are going into a fund to reinvest into other properties. And $6,500 is going into a reserve fund every single month. That's the breakdown. So we're not touching any of the $36,000 that comes in every month to do this. We're only working with the account that has about $100,000 in it, and it's made up from the fund that is supposed to do repairs and maintenance. So if that's the case, I need you to see this. Now, we just went over making the payment, number one, making a prepayment of $2,500 that he borrowed from himself, saved $6,000. Okay. And guess what? That's over a 200% return. In fact, it is 247% return on your money. Where else are you going to get that kind of return, folks? Where else can you get that? Because he's not getting it from the bank. That money's just sitting there. It's worse than being thrown away. If you understand the parable of the talents, that's worse than burying it in the ground. Oh my goodness. Throwing it away, throwing money away. Watch this. I need you to see cumulative principal and cumulative interest. This is where it gets very powerful. I need you all to start inviting some other people into the room so they can see this. Will you please help me in sharing the room right now? If you're on Clubhouse, if you're watching us online, if you're watching us on, we got LaRon Carter watching us on YouTube coming in from Indianapolis. Come on, LaRon, we appreciate you, man. So we're going to share this on Clubhouse. Share it to your friends and family on your social media if you're watching us online. I'm getting ready to go over this one more time, just the basics. Now, I'm just picking out some numbers. Our program tells you exactly how much money to move and when to move it so you can save the maximum amount of interest. By me doing this, I'm only getting a 246% return. Our program will get you more because it's going to tell you exactly how much to pay and when to pay it. And so, Don, what do you mean? All he has to do is take out more money and get a better return. No, that is not how it works. There's a point at which more is actually too much, and you start to violate the law of diminished return. By putting more money on at the wrong time, your percentage in savings could go from 247% to 240% or 230% or 200%. It all depends. So what we're looking for with the P.I.L.L method, we do a process called critical point analysis, CPA. Critical point analysis, which means what is the smallest amount that you can pay towards the mortgage and what month to do it in, what day of the month to do it on, to get the greatest savings in interest per dollar applied. Out of every dollar, how much interest do you save? That's what we're talking about. And when you find the least amount that gives you the greatest interest savings per dollar, that's called optimizing your interest cancellation. Remember, this is ICE BRRRR, Interest Cancellation Expert, matching up with the BRRRR method so that we can get more out of our money when we cash out refi. I need you to see this example. All right, let's look at 1 year in. Look at 1 year in. Okay. Watch this. All right. So we got Ahmad here. We got Cookie here. We got LaRon watching us here. We've got online. We got Charlene. Oh, Charlene she's here with her party hat on. That means she's been on Clubhouse less than a week. And welcome to you, Miss Charlene. Go ahead and share the room, folks, so we can get more people in here to learn about this. And Cookie wrote in to the chat here the law of diminished return in our comments. Thank you. And critical point analysis. So if you looked up these terms, this is what we're doing here, folks. We're taking something that the experts, people online, people on YouTube, people all over are telling you, you know, this thing ain't all that hard. It's not rocket science. You just pay extra anytime you want. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's just like saying, you know, go out and buy any property you want and turn it into profitable real estate without paying attention to how much you're paying for it. Go out and rehab the property without understanding how much it's going to cost you to rehab the property. Go out and rent the property for whatever you want without regard to what the market rents are in the area. You won't do that with any other phase of real estate, but when it comes to saving money on interest, can it really be as simple as throw any amount of money you want at principal and you're going to be okay? No. We have to be exact in everything that we do to save the most money. So here's my question to you folks. Do you want to save some money? Or do you want to save the most money you can for the least money you have to put out? Do you want to save the most money you can for the least? Or do you want to keep throwing good money after bad? That's what we're talking about today. Watch this on line 12 of the amortization schedule. This is what I showed this real estate investor, and this is what blew his mind, and this is what caused him to say, I want your program. Watch this. In 1 year, okay, Verdell just came in here. Let's get her up on the stage, folks. All right, moderators, let's get her in here. Okay. Vernita, I'm sorry. Vernita. Let's get Vernita up. All right. She just came in. Folks, here's what we're talking about. 1 year in, we're going to pay this loan down by $30,699.86. It's going to cost $73,000 in interest to do it. So I talked to the real estate investor. I said, you've got over $100,000 in your bank account. Okay. Could you borrow $30,000 from that account and apply it to this loan? He says, well, yeah, I could. I said, look what happens. If you decide you want to pay this amount of your principal down over 12 months, it's going to cost you $73,000. But what if you decided, you know what, I've got this money sitting in the bank. Why don't I advance this to my mortgage out of that fund that's just sitting in the bank making 1/10 of 1%? Guess what? Guess what happens? I'm paid down to line 12 in 1 month. I just skipped all the interest payments between line 2 and line 12. By paying the loan down to where I would normally pay it down to, okay, it didn't cost me $73,000. It only cost me $6,203.78, the interest I paid on line 1. Folks, that's an interest savings of $67,661.37. I do not have to pay the bank. I just got $30,000 in equity for $6,200 instead of $7,300. Listen, folks, we're talking about critical point analysis here. We're talking about what is the exact thing to do. We have computers running our whole lives. we do not have a computer that is set up specifically to beat the bank's computers at their own game. They have been doing this. They have been calculating this interest on us for the past 89 years. And since computers came on board, they've been making even more money because they make more precise calculations and get us to do some things that make us think that we're saving money when it actually costs us money. Do you realize that this real estate investor has prepayment penalties? Yeah. But do you realize that when he knows how much interest he's saving, the penalties don't come anywhere near what he's saving in interest? So if you got prepayment penalties on your loan, they're just saying, please don't do the math. Please don't do the math, because our penalties don't come anywhere near the amount of interest you're going to save if you decide to prepay. Now, this isn't the good part. Can I get to the good? Listen, I want to show you the good part here, folks. If you put some number 8s in the chat for me right now, some number 8s, okay, because we're talking about infinity here. Just turn that 8 over on its side, and we're going to get infinite knowledge. And listen, this stuff that we're talking about today is beyond. It's just beyond. I don't know what it's beyond, but it's beyond everything that we've ever been taught in life about finances. It's beyond. Put some number 8s in the chat, and I'm going to show you a key component here that nobody thought of. All right, let me check the chat. Oh, there they are. Here they come. Here they come. Here come the 8s. So, folks, here's what we're doing. Here's what we are doing here. This is what I told the guy. He says, if he borrows $30,000 from his account, $30,000 from his account, got over $100,000 in it, pay it to this mortgage, save $67,000, paid it down to here in 1 month. Do you realize that's 11 mortgage payments he never has to make? He's advanced his amortization schedule by 11 payments in 1 month. And his next mortgage payment is on line 13 of his schedule, and it saved him $67,000. But he reduced his account in the bank by $30,000. What does he do now? If he's putting over $6,000 in the bank every month from his rents, and he borrowed $30,000, I need you to hear me. He borrowed $30,000, but he has a regular over $6,000 a month coming into that bank account. What if he decides he's not going to take any more money out until he pays himself back out of the rents that are coming in? How many months will it take him to replenish the $30,000? I need to see it in the chat. I need to see it online. I need to see it in Clubhouse. S. Lindo says 5 months. 5 months. So, Miss Lindo, listen, I hope you can come to the stage, because if he can pay it back in 5 months, here's my next question. Could he do it again in 5 months? Take another $30,000 out to knock off another year and save over $60,000 again if he just waited 5 months to do it again? Could he do it again in 5 months? And then could he do it again in another 5 months? And could he do it again in another 5 months until, here we go, folks, until he is paying this loan down like this, putting it on the screen, until he can knock this thing out in just 4 years, knock it out in 4 years, and then save himself $891,000 in interest and be done in 4.9 years. And listen, Valerie Robinson says, yes, he sure can. Folks, this is the only program on the net, on Clubhouse, anywhere. Listen, I even do speaking engagements. This is the only information out there that people are talking about this and getting a greater understanding of their loans. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. The interest-bearing loan is the most ubiquitous financial tool on the planet, and we're all expected to use it without a shred of education about how it works and how we can make it work for us. I'm talking about true education. I'm talking about true financial literacy, not what we're being taught. I'm talking about true financial literacy. Where else have you heard this? Folks, you know in your heart that this thing is true, what I'm saying to you right now. And here's the next thing I'm going to ask. Do you know why? Do you know why nobody else is copying this information and putting it out there? Because everything on the internet, somebody's copying it and putting it out there. They're copying it and setting up another channel. They're copying it and say, listen, we're doing the P.I.L.L method too. Do you know why nobody else is doing that? Let's put the book on the screen. Let's put the book on the screen because I literally wrote the book on the subject. For anybody else to put this out on the internet, to put it on Clubhouse, to put it anywhere else, they would be violating my copyright. I own this for the next 100 years. And listen, you know what else is great? I didn't even discover it. When I look at an amortization schedule, because I'm wired this way, because I found out later in life that I have Asperger's, so, it's a form of autism. When I look at an amortization schedule, I see the pictures and the patterns, and they just jump right out at me. I didn't wire my brain this way. It was like this from birth. It's not like I sat down and said, listen, Kurt, I'm going to figure out how to beat this thing. No, I looked at this thing one time and then trying to figure it out, and it just appeared to me. This is how you do stuff. I do everything this way. I see a golf swing and I can imitate it. I see somebody bowling, I can imitate it. There was a few years ago, I was even an actor. I did some summer stock and I did plays in high school and college. And I just watch people do things and then I can do it. That's just how I'm wired. So I look at this thing and it becomes clear to me. And so I'm now sharing it with somebody else. I wrote it down and had some help because not only am I autistic, but I have ADHD. And sometimes, and it affects how my speech patterns. But I work with somebody who does write books. And I work with that writer and they help me. It took me almost a year to get this book written. And it's the only one on Amazon. The only one out of 33 million titles on Amazon that even begins to talk about how this all comes together. You deserve to know how loans really work. And there's no education out there on it. I'm telling you, folks, there are people right now that may be in the audience who are watching us online or in Clubhouse. That may be watching us that are real estate agents, loan officers. I mean, people who sell mortgages for a living. They did not get this information to get their license. They don't know. They've never been taught this. They're learning it along with you. And that's right, Cookie. It is God's gift. Hazel says numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. People lie all the time, but numbers don't lie. Cookie says, that's what I'm talking about. She says, protect your intellectual property. God gave it to me. Okay. But he says, listen, be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. Protect your intellectual property because folks, I have a family to take care of. Why are we putting this information out here? Listen, Don, why are you giving away so much information for free that most people would charge for? Because you deserve to know. The Bible also says, freely you have received, freely give. You need to know the basics. If somebody never buys my book, if somebody never gets the P.I.L.L method, the opportunity cost calculator, and become one of our lifetime clients, at least we have information out here on the internet that is going to survive me. Listen now, I need you to hear me. I need you to hear me. This information is going to be out here forever. Do you realize that somebody who's not even born yet will pick up on this information and take this information to a higher height to make it more valuable? Somebody is going to benefit from this and say, you know what? There are a couple of tricks that Don missed. What if we did this and this and this to it? Remember you grew up with Hoover vacuums? And here comes a guy named Dyson. He says, I didn't invent the vacuum. I just made it better. Now nobody has bags in their vacuum cleaner. Come on, Dyson. So listen, the P.I.L.L method is the Dyson of the financial realm. Okay, you've never heard this before. We just made it better, and somebody's going to come along after me and make it even better. This is why we're putting this content out here, so it will even survive me, and people will be able to benefit from it forever. And now we're working on a second book. All right. Thank you. Cookie Williams says game changer. Thank you so much. So folks, are you seeing what we're talking about? Let me break this down for you just a little bit more. I'm looking to see if we've got some more people that, oh, I am so sorry. I'm talking and I'm not paying attention to Miss S. Lindo. Listen, could you speak to us, Miss Lindo?
Hello, Ice, and everybody on the stage and everybody in the room. What a mind-blowing room, I'm telling you. It's just woken me up. I couldn't believe, just your knowledge and what you're revealing through knowing how to handle your interest on your mortgage. And yeah, I'm really inspired and I will continue listening. I'll try and speak with my mortgage broker at some point this week, especially what you revealed about 5 minutes ago. But yeah, I really appreciate the room. Thanks for everything you're doing.
Well, listen, we'd love to talk to you about what to say and what not to say, because if you ask certain questions, even if your mortgage lender watch this video, they'll say, some might even say, yeah, that doesn't work. Some might even admit and say, this sounds plausible, but we didn't learn this in school. So it depends on what you're looking for, what you're asking. You may want to work with our team so that you can ask the right questions and set yourself up for the future. Work with us and we'll help you to do that. I've had people go from my live events or from watching us on YouTube, going to their mortgage company and asking these questions. And those folks don't know what they're talking about. They don't know. They don't, what? You can do what? I had one lady says, I was talking to, called her bank, had to talk to 6 people and finally got to somebody who understood part of what she was talking about. She says, how did you find that out? She says, I read this book. And the lady said, where do you get that book? So she sent her a link. It says it's on Amazon. And they got the book. So Miss Lindo, listen, are you in the US or are you in the UK?
I'm in the UK, so maybe the system's slightly different here, but I did buy your book some time ago. I think one of the first rooms that I went and heard you speak, I bought your book at that point, and I've read it. I'll need to read it again because I like to read things twice or even more times. But yeah, I'm in the UK.
Well, listen, that was you that bought my book in the UK.
Only one person. I'm surprised that everyone doesn't know about it.
I'm just kidding. So yeah, you can go to Amazon.uk and get the book for all of you that are in the UK. But I have clients. in London already. So yes, the program works very well over there. Just so you know.
Okay. Yeah, I'll touch base. Who's the best person to touch base with on your team to find out the best way to speak with my broker?
I tell you what. You've got my if you go to don10k.com, I will give you that. Don 10, the number 10, the letter k.com. On there is my text number. That is also my WhatsApp number. Contact me there and we'll get you set up. You can send me a text or you can call or listen. Let's have a conversation. I'll put you in touch with all the people you need to know to get your questions answered. Okay?
Excellent. I appreciate that, Don. Thank you.
You are so welcome. All right, folks. That's Miss Lindo. Miss Lindo, would you mind just introducing yourself and telling us what you do?
Yes. Sorry for not introducing myself. My name's Sarah Lindo. I'm UK based. I come from an architectural background, and I've taken some time out from architecture, although I may go back to it at some point in the future, to concentrate now this year on more properties, buying more properties. I do have some properties already in the UK, and I'm looking for more opportunities to acquire more properties.
Wow. Thank you so very much for coming into the room. We appreciate you. Listen, folks, if you're trying to excuse me, if you're trying to hit me up on the back channel, I'm going to miss some of those. So if you want to get a question in, you want to put it in the chat, or contact contact one of the moderators on screen that you can get your information over. I don't want to miss your question because we don't always pay attention to what's in the chat. Okay, it can get missed, especially when you're on Clubhouse at the time. Sometimes you have to actually go out of Clubhouse and come back in for things to show up from the chat. So thank you so much. Cookie says, I'm going to London in September for business. Listen, you guys need to listen. Contact each other. All right. I love making contacts. I love being a resource for people to get together. All right. So Miss Hazel says, up here, she says, Don, I'm sold on this. Okay. I have my MBA in Finance 2020. MBA in Finance. I want to help you help others. How can I join your team? I'm an actor too. How about that? We have things in common. Let's go. All right. So here's what we're going to do, folks. We're going to stop right here, put everything on pause, and answer this question. How in the world? She says, how can she help me? Go to either ice10k.com or even don10k.com. On the top of that card, you're going to see two buttons. Number one says, become an affiliate. All right, become an affiliate. Let me go ahead, and I'm also going to put this, all right, up. So, Kurt's got it up already. Thank you, Kurt. So, become an affiliate. You can become an affiliate for free. And then once you fill out your information, you put your name, you put your email, you put your phone number. You also put in there how you want to get paid. Yes, how you want to get paid. Choose one of those options to get paid. Now, what do you do next? What do you do next? When you are out there helping people to understand that they could do better financially, you want to find somebody who has already been thinking about it. I'm going to save you a lot of time and a lot of heartache. I've been doing this 17 years, and I was so excited about when I finally realized what was going on. I wanted to tell everybody. I wanted to tell the whole world, but but the whole world wasn't ready to hear me. Only those people who are looking for a better way. This is why we have the subtitle on our book, A Better Way to Eliminate Debt, because every single client we have has said practically the same thing. I was looking for I was praying for, I was hoping for, getting a better way to handle my debt. Those who are satisfied with handling their debt the way that they're doing it, even though they're saving, they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars they don't need to on interest. They're just satisfied with what they're doing. They're not looking for a change. Don't get frustrated by trying to talk them into saving money. They're not ready to hear you yet. So find the ones that are already looking. Now, I just tell a story. So watch some of our videos, relay one of those stories, like the couple that paid off their mortgage, the 30-year-old couple that paid off their mortgage in 6.5 years without changing their budget, and see who responds. If somebody says to you, oh, that's a nice story, they're not ready. They're not. But if somebody says, man, I've been looking for something like that, you know of a way to do that, then yes. So what you do then, you refer them to our YouTube channel and tell them to watch some of the videos that are marked how to pay off mortgages in 7 years. Then you follow up with them in between 24 and 48 hours, no more than 48 hours. After 48 hours, boom, the interest goes way down. Okay. Contact them within 48 hours. And then if they're still interested, send them to us. There's a second button on there that you can send us their referral, and you give us their name, their phone number, their email address, and their zip code, so we don't call them at the wrong time during the day. And if they're out of the country, we want their postal code. So we'll do that. So once we get that information, all right, then once they become a client, we will send you $300 as a referral bonus. Now, how do you qualify? There are some rules, and here they are. For a lead to qualify, that person must have at least $100,000 in debt and at least one mortgage. I will repeat that. They have to have at least $100,000 in debt and a mortgage if you're going to qualify for that referral bonus. Okay? So I want to work with you. I want to work with all of you. So listen, you guys who are out there who said, I want to help. Listen, Ms. Hazel, is this what you were looking for? Ms. Hazel, is that what you wanted to know? Oh my goodness. So yes, Miss Cookie Williams says they have to be ready for a change. Yes, they do. All right. So I am so excited to get this information out, to talk to everyone about how this all works together. But I need you to watch something here that we have not gone over. All right. I got something else better. I got something else better for you. Are you ready for it? Now I need to know number sevens. I need to see number sevens for the final piece of this puzzle. If you want to see it, if you want to know what it is, you want to know how powerful it is, I need to see some number sevens in the chat. I need to see number sevens online. When I see enough, some people are already filling out the affiliate card. All right, they fill out the affiliate card. Come on in here. All right. So let me see some number sevens in the chat if you want to see the final piece of this puzzle. Oh, Ahmad says, listen, he's got a ton of sevens, Okay. Here is the final piece of the puzzle. Have you seen that people are paying way more interest than they need to, and it is cutting into their ability to make greater profits, even though on the front end they're making plenty of money? Have you seen that people, even seasoned real estate investors, are paying way too much money in interest? Have you seen that? Well, let me tell you, by paying 80% more interest than we need to, that is not the big deal here. What? Yeah, that is not the biggest problem. Paying 80% more interest than you need to is not the biggest problem. Do you know what the biggest problem is? I need you all to write it down. By paying 80% more interest than you need to. Listen, I'm going to bring my voice down and I'm going to lean into the camera. By paying 80% more interest than you need to, you are missing an opportunity to invest that same money. That's not the biggest problem, is paying more. The money that money can never make for you and your family is huge, because you are cash flowing on the front end. But by paying extra interest you don't need to, you can't also invest that money. When you pay that money to the bank, they're investing that money and they're making billions, trillions off the money that's supposed to be building generational wealth for your family. Let me scroll down. Let me show you this number here. Here it is. I'm going to show this real estate investor. I'm looking at the last line. Do you see where it says wealth accumulation? This is what really got this guy excited. I mean, you thought it was learning how to save all that interest he's been giving away. But when I showed him what's going to happen here, in the 17 years, he's not going to have this mortgage. He could take that money that he saved and turn it into $9 million extra dollars for him and his family. I need you to listen. I'm not done. I need you to focus in on the next box over to the right, where it says, this is your savings with a 1% return on your money. 1% return. I'm going to show this real estate investor how he can take the money that he's not paying in interest and turn it into a 1%. With even a 1% return, that money turns into $9 million in just 17 years. Folks, real estate makes like 15, 17, 20% year over year. I can't even begin to calculate what that would mean for him in real money, in actual interest rates that he's interested in getting a return on his money. Nobody wants to get just a 1% return on their money. I am literally tired right now about giving out this information. The millions of dollars, billions of dollars are being lost today. We've got people out there that want to put away money for their children's children, and now you can. Well, Don, what if we're just we're not a real estate investor? What if we just want to be a homeowner? How does this help us? I have clients who, with their interest savings and their W-2 jobs, can take these interest savings and turn it into over $1 million in addition to what they're doing for their retirement funds. We're making W-2 employees millionaires by saving them the interest and then giving them the idea that they can put that money away and earn over $1 million in interest on that money. Get over $1 million in returns. Do you know what else we provide with the P.I.L.L method? And this is the last piece. Here it is. This is the last piece. With the P.I.L.L method, you don't only get interest cancellation. the only interest cancellation program on the planet, the only one that guarantees your results, the only one that nobody comes even close to the interest savings that we provide. Why? Because we're the only ones that even concentrate on interest savings. Other programs use a simple spreadsheet. They just put a different skin on it. We don't use spreadsheets. We use optimizing computer programs. We use artificial intelligence. And more specifically, it is augmented machine learning. Augmented machine learning is what we provide for our clients. And when we provide all of that, then people can save the most amount of money that's possible. And then we work with on our team. We have a whole team that does nothing but talk about wealth creation, taking the money that you're saving and not even waiting until you're out of debt, but working together hand in hand with interest cancellation and wealth creation all at the same time. We're talking about a whole team of people who do nothing but wealth creation that understand this program, because the owner of the company uses the P.I.L.L method, and I coached him on the P.I.L.L method. So now he's teaching his whole team how to help our clients, how we can all work together in wealth building and interest cancellation. The only program on the planet that does that, folks. There's nothing else like it. Nothing else like it. Do not miss this opportunity. Do have anybody else out there with their hands raised that wants to come to the stage? Continue, folks. Continue. Listen, Daniel, we got Daniel in here with his red balloon. We got Emma. Listen, we got somebody wants to raise their hand. Let's invite to speak. Come on up. That's Emma. Daniel, congratulations. Let me see how long you've been on Clubhouse. All right, we're going to scroll down since January. Okay, joined January 20. Okay, 1 year ago. 1 year ago. Congratulations to your 1 year anniversary, sir. All right. So Emma, I'm sorry I might have missed you earlier. I hope you can still come up to speak. You have your hand raised. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see. Emma Eze. E-Z-E. All right. Invite to speak. All right. Let's bring you on stage. All right. And anybody else, raise your hand and let's see if we can bring you up if you have a question or a comment. We have been killing it today. So Cookie Williams says, I want to be a real estate investor. There's nothing that can stop you now, Cookie. Nothing that can stop you now. We just brought somebody else up to the stage. So are we pronouncing your name correctly, Emma? Oh, just left. Okay. I guess didn't want to talk. Maybe just wanted to wave and say hi. All right. Anybody else? Come on up. Come on up. Ask your question. Make your comments. All right. Anybody on stage that has a comment about what we went over today? We're talking about the iceberg method. Miss Donna, I see you on mic.
I was trying to get Emma up on stage. Yes. You know what, Don? It is interesting that, coming into the room hearing you and coming into the room almost every Sunday and hearing, as I said, I think I told you the story before. When what's her name on stage here? S. Lindo. I will tell you one thing. People out there, they do not understand what Don is offering. What Don is saying, a lot of people don't understand it. They don't know anything. So they're going to say to you, oh, it doesn't work. I've never heard about it. And, very discouraging. But because I've been in here and I've listened and I've heard people with receipts, guess what? And I told Don this before. I had a student loan $1,500 that I didn't know. There was a portion that's left because it's split up when they're giving a student loan. And that came, I finished school in 2000, my nursing. So basically that came on like almost 20 years after. Don't know where that came from. So what I did, I played around with what Don has been telling me. So first it came and I got note of it. I said, okay, rehab it. And I brought it right back into not having it on my credit. And then I had a discussion. I said, okay, it's only 1,500. They're giving me like almost 2 years, actually 16 months to pay off $1,500, right? So I just played along with it with the, like what Don has been teaching. First, when I spoke with the lady, I said, well, you know what? I will be sending it's only $69 per month, but I'll be sending, I'm going to send X amount. And she goes, no, you can't do that. You have to go according to what the interest rate is because it's set at a certain interest rate and you cannot do that. You have to go by the arranged amount. I said, but it's interest costs. And she says, no, it can't be done. Well, what I did, I added up all the interest savings for the entire, I did 12 months and I sent it in. And so when I send it in, it's not like it's coming from a bank account. So I said to them, as soon as they receive it, I said, could you apply that to the principal? And she said, how much? She said, I know there was some taken out of it. Some was taken out of it. So I called and I go, I sent $150. Why is it less? She goes, oh, someone to the interest. I said, no. Could you apply that all to the interest for me, please?
You mean to the principal?
To the principal, sorry, to the principal. And she said, oh, not a problem. I will do that. Now, this is the government. These are the people that are working there. One told me I can't do anything. I didn't listen to her. I listened to Don because they don't know anything about it. They're just employees. So, this is my little take. It's only 1,500 and I'm only playing with it. I'm playing with that. This P.I.L.L method on what Don says. It works. And so, she applied all of it to it. But people out there, they will tell you, your bankers, no, it doesn't work. Here in Canada, actually, if we start a payoff, there's a penalty that is. But guess what? The amount that you are going to save in the end was far better than paying any penalty. So, guys, connect with Don. Just go get an interest and savings report, put that in, and you'll be on your way. Thank you, Don, and I'm done speaking.
Miss Donna, why don't you go ahead and reset the room one more time? So we're getting ready to get out of here, folks. We got about 12 minutes left in this room. So if you were thinking about asking a question, get in here now because we're not going to be going beyond that time. Listen, I'm literally tired. I could do 2 hours of this kind of intensity, and then I got to rest. So if listen, Miss Donna, go ahead and reset the room one last time.
Again, everyone, you are in the Mortgage Syndicate Real Estate Cafe. We share this room every Sunday between 9:30 and 11:30 here with the P.I.L.L method. And if you're not already a member of the club, if you're new to the club, please click on that little green now on top and become a member. You could, if you have any questions, we have, as Don said, we now have 11 minutes. Please raise your hand. Hand raising is on. Raise your hand. Come on up. Ask your question. You can also, might be you are at work and you're not able to ask. I'm always in the chat and I will ask your questions for you. But guess what, guys? I tell you, you could be anywhere else this Sunday morning, but you choose to spend this time with Don and the other members in this club to spend some time with them to learn what Don is teaching us. So please, we're very, very grateful for you being here. Please be here next Sunday again. Again, raise your hand, come on up, ask your question in the chat. I'm there to help. Don, and I'm done speaking.
All right. Daniel says, thank you for the shout out. You got it, Daniel. And Donna, thank you very much for taking over the chat for us. And I appreciate you. Did you have to kick anybody out of our chat today?
Absolutely not. Guess what? They know because they're blocked. I blocked them out of the room. So when I look at my thing, I go, I don't normally have any problems with anyone on Clubhouse. And I look in my blocking, I was like, woo, I've got my people, 4 people blocked. I was like, oh, those are the ones that come and do things that they're not supposed to do in our chat because it's an extension of our room. It's for you all that are at work or you just don't want to come up on stage. You could be a little stage shy and you just want to put your questions in there. I'm in the back here to answer your question, but not to do any kind of pitching. Thank you again.
All right, folks, listen, we're going to I put on the screen one last time our opportunity cost calculator. I'm going to show you, all right, a couple of shortcuts in here. I'm going to show you what actually happens behind the scenes with our opportunity cost calculator. And it's important to know how much money to put on at any given time. All right. In the last few minutes here. All right. We're going to go back to the technology. The technology is key. All right. But what makes the technology run is the education you're going to receive. It's a two-pronged approach. You need to get rid of everything you've ever thought you knew about how loans work and how to best set up your loan. If you are a real estate investor and you're going to get you're bringing on a new property, come talk to us. Even if it's a multi-unit, even if it's 2, 3, 400 units, even if it's a multi-million-dollar project, come talk to us about how to save money even on your multi-million-dollar project. Use the bank's money at a discount. I will show you how it can be done. If you are just bringing on just 2 or 3 properties, we can show you. Even if you're just bringing on 1 property for you and your family, the average family has 13 different debts. They pay between 35 and 39% of their take-home pay just on interest alone. In my book, I call it interest consumption. But I want to go through just a couple of months here and show you how the program adds things up. But I listen, you can. So we figure out the finance charges. We're starting back in October here. So all you do is click on the link. All right. You click on something and just execute it. And it adds it to the program. It's just simple point and click. When something comes up on the right date, you just tell the program how it all comes together for you. Then the program recalculates. So I may have to, this has been running for a while. I forgot. All right. Here it goes. So we got $25 in finance charges on this card. So we're going to execute that and then add it to everything. So now what I'm going to do, instead of just doing one at a time, here's how much interest the bank wants that our program is going to save. All right. Here is how much interest is remaining. All right. We're going to save $1,467,841 on 10 mortgages here. And the interest we have remaining is $1,659,000. All right. $1,659,000. We're going to look at that. And then, so if I want to see how much money I want to earn in the future, I can just go down here to figure net worth. This is all in the program. We go down here and says, okay, let me see wealth accumulation. Let's click on that. And we get to see, boom, when we're supposed to be out of debt on this was 2042. But now we get to see how fast the money accumulates, even at 1%, using interest money we don't have to pay the bank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. 5 years. In 5 years, this real estate investor can have an extra $1,157,000 after all the debt is gone. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Over $3 million. Stop giving your money away to the bank. Start building generational wealth for your family. Let me go back to the action plan. Let me show you how we do this. I'm going to select the entire month of November. Okay, we're going to execute multiples so we can do the whole month at the same time. All right, and then we're going to execute the whole month. So we're paying bills and getting an income. All right, by doing that. So now we're going to go down here and then we're going to do the whole month of December. So we're going to select the entire month. No, I'm going to only do down to mortgage number 9. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're just going to pay off the HELOC and put $4,000 on. And we're going to execute that and then do this. Watch what happens. When we execute it, then the program will tell me how much interest I've actually saved by doing. So when the actual interest saved matches the potential interest, then you're out of debt. Okay. And this is 10 mortgages. When we go into accounts, we can actually see them. Okay. We have a Visa. We got mortgage number 10, mortgage number 1, 2, and there are different banks. This one's at Wells Fargo. This one's at Bank of America. Okay. Wells Fargo and Bank of America. And our HELOC is at Wells Fargo. And they're all different interest rates. Okay. This one's 8.6. This was 6.5. This was 5.4 and 4.5. And look at this. They're all different amounts. So to know where to put the money, it's multiple calculations that need to be done. If we have just 10 variables, and we have more than 10 variables here, okay? If we have just 10 variables, then that means which one do we do first, second, third, and fourth? How do we attack this loan? How many different ways are there to look at this complicated system and know what to do? Here is the answer to this. I'm putting it on the screen right now. If I have 10 variables, I can put in the number 10 and an exclamation point. That means 10 factorial. 10 factorial means how many ways are there to arrange 10 variables. And when we click on that to enter that, it tells us that it's 3,628,800 different ways to arrange 10 variables. 3,628,800 different ways. And only one of those ways is optimum. And our program does all of that math and tells you, here's the one thing you can do out of 3,600,000 ways. Folks, if you want to try to beat this computer with your pencil and paper, please go right ahead. I guarantee you, you can't and you won't. You'll spend more money trying to beat our computer than you will pay for our program. And it's a lifetime program that I guarantee the results. So, folks, I want to thank you very much for coming in here. We're going to be right back here again on Wednesday. So thank you very much for being here. We want to hear from Dr. Eric Thomas one more time as we say goodbye to everybody online. So, folks, get the book. All right, get your savings and earnings report and become a P.I.L.L Method affiliate. Dr. Eric Thomas, take us out.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.